Well, now let's talk about the new leader of an innovation team. So we learned in the past sessions how innovation works, what is the process, how can you manage the process, what do you have, what kind of resources do you have in your company which can be used, who are the contributors to innovation, and all these sorts of good ideas. We talked about creativity, and now it's time to see if, for example, you are assigned as the leader of an innovation team, how you are going to perform your new role. Well, first and foremost, we need to talk about a little bit about a difference between a leader and a manager. Apparently, these two words are not very much synonymous. A boss creates fear, and this is I'm reading from Russell Eving. Open the quotation open. A boss creates fear. A leader creates confidence. A boss fixes blame. A leader corrects mistakes. A boss knows all. A leader asks questions. A boss makes work drudgery. A leader makes it interest. And drudgery, quotation closed. The drudgery here means boring. So let's move to the next page, and we have more quotations here. Remember the difference between a boss and a leader. A boss says go, a leader says let's go. This is from Kelly. Drudgery means boring. By working faithfully 8 hours a day, you may eventually get to be a boss and work 12 hours a day. This is from Robert Frost. In the past, a leader was a boss. Today's leaders must be partners with their people. They no longer can lead solely based on positional power. An exchange of ideas occurs when you take an idea to your boss and you come back with an idea. Okay. All these quotes highlight the difference between a manager, a boss, and a leader. A leader is someone who works with you. A leader inspires you, works with you. A leader wants to develop you as a person, as an individual. But a manager just wants to get the job done. He doesn't care much about your development. He just knows everything in the job, and he just wants to get the job done in the right way. So, a manager is good for ordinary situations. For the situation there is no crisis. The daily business is doing good. You just need someone to run the business. A leader is necessary when there is a crisis, when there is a situation which requires a lot of changes to happen. A leader is supposed to play a different role, a much bigger role, a more important role. So that's why we say here, new leader of an innovation team, and we never talk about a manager because in fact in the process of innovation you need leaders, because you need to be with people, you need to, instead of fixing blame, you need to correct the mistakes. Instead of creating fear, you need to create confidence. And therefore, we need a leader for an innovation team. Well, When in this book, when they wanted to talk about to become a leader of an innovation project, they had this idea of 10 weeks. So they said that the first 10 weeks, what happens if you become an innovation leader, and how you should react and how you should act in these 10 weeks. The first 10 weeks of a new role will be critical, because if you get them right, and you will be able to be off to a flying start, and you will probably succeed. But if you get these 10 weeks wrong, it means that if you have a very bad start, if you have a weak start, if you have a wrong start, you will come under pressure and even risk being moved on rather quickly. So what shall we do? We have an innovation team. Your superior, your boss asks, for example, Farid, do you want to lead this innovation team? Farid says, yes, I'm going to be leader of these 10 people or 6 people. So Farid needs to think, what should I do within the first 10 weeks? You should plan this initial period to make sure you are not overwhelmed by the inevitable mass of detail that will assail you on arrival. Whenever you become a new leader of a team, there are a lot of information that you should know, and there are new people that you should get to know. So you should learn how to handle this new situation. And here the word overwhelmed explains it very well. You're not overwhelmed by the inevitable mass of detail. So they should not affect you. They should not influence you negatively. You should manage the data. Make sure that other people's priorities do not put you off the course that you have set yourself. Because when you are new to the team, there are already existing priorities, and you have your own priorities because you are the leader, you are the planner, you are the one who is going to be the captain of the ship. And what most matters is your own priorities for the team, of course. So you should be very firm on that. Why is this a critical time? At the beginning, you have an opportunity to make a positive impression on others. And you will only get one chance to make a first impression. And that is why it is called the first impression, because it happens only once. So get the first few months wrong, and it could impact your relationship with others for a very, very long time. Typically, a period of emotional energy and activity will often get a higher level of enthusiasm and commitment. So, the critical point here is that people who don't know you and get to know you for the first time, they form an impression. And because this is a project, and a project is short-lived, it's not very long, your first impression is very, very important. And remember that in innovation you need to get a lot of commitment. Therefore, if your first impression is wrong, you're not going to get that commitment that you're looking for. So, what are the potential pitfalls of this process? Well, You will lack knowledge and expertise in your new role, and this will make you vulnerable to getting decisions wrong. So the first weakness that Farid is going to have is that is that Farid lacks knowledge and expertise in the new role. So Farid comes from a background, comes from a department with certain knowledge, but now Farid is involved in a new project because innovation talks about improvement, making something new. Farid doesn't know the people. Farid doesn't know much about the new project, and probably Farid doesn't have the expertise. In every team, there will be a mixture of people, and politics getting in with the wrong people or setting up favorites can limit your opportunities for future promotion. And here is the future promotion. Another thing that I want to let you know is that once you are leading an innovation team, you should always remember that you have come from point X. Before point X, you had a history, okay? And after point X, you are going to have a future. So whatever you do here is important because it will build the way to the next destination. You are not supposed to stay a leader of this innovation team for the rest of your life. Ubaidullah says, but if project is small, he may think about his leadership for a few months because this group of employees are going to be finished after the project. I need a connection with the cost. No, not necessarily. Because if you work in a firm, first of all, the people in this innovation project who are working on this project are still in the company. So you are going to get involved with them. Imagine you work in a firm for 10 years. If you meet a group for once, it doesn't mean that you are not going to see them for another 10 years, or you are not going to work with them in another 10 years. Especially if you are in the same industry. For example, you are in the business of shoe industry in Italy, and you are working for a famous company. All of these companies cluster, they have manufacturing close to one another. So the employees of these companies, when they come out of one company, they get hired by another company which is next to them. So these people moving inside the company from department to department or from part to part, and then even when they leave the company, if you are in shoe industry for 10 years, when you leave your company, you don't go and work for example, a television company. You don't shoe industry. You don't go for television. You don't know electronics. You know shoe industry. So 99% when you leave your company, you go to another shoe company. Or imagine you are working in an insurance company. For 10 years, you have been an insurance broker. How odd it would be that you change your job drastically, and from insurance broker, you go work, for example, for a submarine or a shipbuilding company. So people do not change career that fast. And inside an organization, when you work for a good organization, you are not leaving that organization anytime soon. You normally have a lifetime of 10 to 15 years there, or at least 5 years. So this is very important because when you are an innovation team manager, you need to think of promotion, plus the fact that you get a lot of recommendation letters from your manager, and if you want to change your company, these recommendation letters and good words are going to create another job for you. So you have to have a view of long term. So you do a short-term project, but as a leader, you look at it long term. And this is going to be the basis of your vision. There will be a lot to do in a short period of time, and you may feel overwhelmed by it. Okay, this is very natural. Most effective managers rely heavily on their informal network, but in the early stages of a new job, these don't exist. What is the informal network? When you are a leader of an innovation team, and this manager here means leader, this is leader. This is where we use them interchangeably. Okay? When you are in a company and you have 5 years or 6 years or 10 years of experience, you have a lot of informal networks. So in many places, you really depend on your network. Many problems that pop up, you talk with your network and you solve them. Many opportunities are provided because of these networks. But when you are leader of a new team, or you are a new leader of the innovation team, maybe your networks don't work. So you are kind of left on yourself, left alone. Few people recover from a bad start. This is the lesson you should learn here. Try not to have a bad start. And I'm telling you, it's very difficult. When you are in a new situation, when you are working with new people, when you are working on a new project, believe me, it's a very difficult thing to do. You should have emotional intelligence, IQ, experience, everything together. Patience, perseverance, intercultural understanding. You should have a lot of skills, experts, in order to really have a good start and avoid a bad start. Here what we have here is a quick tip. A quick tip gives you, it's a tip, 10 minutes out. Get into the habit of, it's advice that I give you, the book gives you, and I put it in this format. I tried to take the tips out and I put it in this format so that you can remember it very well. Like the one that was in yellow box in the previous page. Get into the habit of taking 10 minutes out each day, simply to browse the internet, get to know your customers, competitors, and emerging new technologies. But of course, I'm telling you 10 minutes is nothing, because 10 minutes is really nothing. But what the point here is that, the main point is that do not get used to the daily task, because you are a leader. The difference between a leader and a follower is that a leader always knows more, always tries to have a vision about the future. So a leader has a very close connection to future. That is why you should always browse the internet, read about your customers, read about your competitors, read about what could be the emerging technologies. In any field, there are practical journals For example, in management, Harvard Business Review has a journal. It's called Harvard for Managers, something like that. And in this journal, there are a lot of practical lessons, practical articles, not very academic, very practical for managers, and give them a lot of insight into the future. So as a manager, you should have a list of websites, you should have a list of journals, you should have a list of people to talk to, so that you always know something more than your followers. So if F is your follower, you are the leader, and this is the future. You are the one who brings future to your follower. And the art is your art, and the skill is your skill. The more successful you are, the better leader you are. Now, let's talk about week 1. Week 1, get to know your stakeholders. Before going further, I want you to tell me what is a stakeholder. I want a definition of a stakeholder. Who can tell me? Even you can give me an example. Okay, I call names. Muhammad Aziz. If I call a name and you do not respond, I consider that you are not listening and you are only connected but doing something else, and this is a negative point. Okay, Muhammad Aziz is here, back from watching the movie. Okay. So Muhammad Aziz, what is a stakeholder? Or who is a stakeholder? Okay, if I give you an example. If a company is operating a factory, let's say a factory. If there is a factory near a river, and this is a river, okay? River. If a factory is working and pouring its waste into the river, okay? The factory is polluting the river. Who are the people getting hurt by this action? What public? Define public. Very good. Obaidullah gave me a very good answer. All the people who are benefiting this river or damaging this river are stakeholders. Very good. Mean those people who are not involved in daily operation of the business. Okay? This shows that you are very good students. Okay. Let's move on to this. Then get to know your stakeholders in every leadership position, because leadership is also a political position, but in a company in a very small scale, and in a country in a very big scale. So you should Get to know your stakeholders in the first week or week one. Start by understanding the key stakeholders in the area of innovation, what their roles are, and how each could impact on your success. Stakeholders include your boss, work colleagues, innovation team, functional heads, key opinion leaders, subject matter experts, customers, and suppliers, and you can add to this list interested parties from Abdul Mubin. Very good. Interested parties. So this is what you have to do. And here are certain tips on how to get your stakeholders. Okay. Tip 1. Do not go into initial meetings or telephone conversations without stopping and thinking them through. When you're a new leader, you definitely are invited to certain meetings. You should not go to these meetings without preparation. You should have a clue what is going to happen in the meeting, what are the points they are going to discuss with you, so that you are very well prepared. Another issue is, or another tip is, what is the impression you want to give and why? What do you need to do to make sure this happens? It is very important that you think always one step in advance, at least. Imagine when you were a kid, very little kid, let's say 6 years old, you wanted to get money from your daddy or mommy. You wanted to approach daddy. Daddy is big because daddy is older than you. You're 6, daddy is, for example, 40. You want to go to daddy and ask for money. Then as a kid, you come with a strategy. You want to see if daddy sees me sad, daddy pities me because daddy loves me. Daddy doesn't want me to be sad. Daddy loves me. So daddy gives me money. So here, what is the impression you want to make on your daddy? If daddy sees you happy, daddy says, okay, he's already happy, why should I give him the money? So what is the impression you want to make here? The impression that you are that's it. So this is the impression you want to make. Before going to meeting with daddy, this is a meeting, right? 52 people. You need to make the impression that you're sad. Based on this impression, because daddy loves you, daddy pities you, you get the intended result. This is the result. This is the final result. Money. So when you are a leader of an innovation team, when you want to go to a meeting, you should have a clear idea of what impression you want to give them. Do you want them to think that you are smart, you are experienced, you are understanding? What impression do you want to leave there? So this is the tip 2. Think about what could go wrong and what you can do to make sure risks are avoided or mitigated. This is also very important. Always know yeah, Ubaidullah, yeah. This is um, this is something you should think about. Always think, what if something fails, and what can you do to reduce the risk? And to reduce the risk, we talked about it. You should have experience. You should have expertise. You should have collect as much information as possible. One of the strategies to reduce risk is to get people involved. Mitigate means to remove the risk, to make risk go away. For example, if you want to go with your friends to a new restaurant or try a new dish, and you have never tried that dish, in order to reduce the risk is to go online and read about the new dish, new meal, what are the ingredients and what it tastes, but still you don't know it. Another thing to reduce the risk is that you tell your friends that let's go together, we order one dish, if we like it, we finish it, if we don't like it, we order another one, if you don't like it, we leave it there and leave the restaurant. So you share the price and you share the risk actually. So there are a lot of strategies to handle risk. What is important is that you should not forget about risk. You should run the risk, you should face risk, and you should handle it. Make sure that initial conversations focus on the other people and not you. So take time to really understand what their agenda is, what their concerns are, and what their ideas are for this. This is which kind of risk? Every project have a lot of risks. Risk of failure. I'm writing for you here. Risk of failure. Risk of losing respect. Risk of wasting the resources. Risk of wasting the money. More importantly, risk of losing the golden opportunity. Make sure that initial in a conversation, in the first conversations, you should know that you are supposed to have conversations not primarily on yourself, because you want to first discover what are the ideas of others, what are the attitudes of others, what are the approaches of others, what others know that you do not. So try to hold conversations focusing on other people so that you have time to measure your party. You need to size up who are the people. You need to size up who are the people you are getting involved with, and for this you need time and information. So let's get to know them through people. There are two more tips here. I read them for you. Try not to state your ideas at the initial meeting. It is much better just to listen on. And this is a very good advice, because when you have some ideas without getting to know the politics of the room, maybe your ideas become attacked and worthless. And as a leader, your ideas are the most important resources that you have. If you lose your ideas, you have already lost your resources. A leader without ideas is useless. So wait. Do not waste your ideas. First, listen hard and see what is going on in the meeting, what is going on in the minds of your partners and your colleagues and your bosses, and work on your ideas so that they are more presentable, more appealing, more fitting. I can say that the word here is fitting to the system. That's the danger. No, it's not about nothing. No, you can talk about the project, but at the very beginning, you should not discuss all the ideas, because ideas are like your bullets. If you run out of your bullets, then you don't have anything else to shoot. Yes, Navid is right. Keep the main idea. You know, it's not like that you are sitting quietly, everybody asks you a question, you dodge the question. No. But you try to escape the situation that you are gotten off guard, you know? You need to see what is in the room going on. You need to work more on your ideas because you want your ideas to be new, novel, and interesting at the same time. These ideas are supposed to be fitting to the overall strategy as well. You should not forget that. It doesn't matter how brilliant your idea is. If your idea does not get support from top management, if your idea does not get support from the people around you, how are you going to make them realize? Indeed, it is often said that influence most belongs to the person who says least during the meeting but provides the summary at the end and proposes the action plan. This is correct. This is very correct. Because talking, everybody can do. The one who concludes and proposes the action plan is the one who does the main job. Yes, yes, you should get more information first than giving information. If you give everything to others, then what is left to you? It doesn't mean that you hide your ideas. You just buy time to work on your ideas. Of course, when you are a leader of a team, you already have a lot of good ideas. But you don't know how many of these good ideas are being received very well by the other side of the table. Okay, as its own place, but what is more important here, how you are going to work on your ideas so that you make them work there. It is like you have a knife, but it is not sharpened. So you need to first sharpen your knife in order to cut very well. If you have the knife, but it's not sharpened, it doesn't cut very well. But I cannot say that you don't have the knife, you cannot cut. You have the knife, you can cut. But it is better to sharpen your knife first and then cut. And this is the trick. A little bit wait, gain information, see what's going on in the room, and then present your idea. So Week 2 is about capture a business snapshot. Yes, you should make one picture. Yeah, exactly. So here we need to understand the business you are working in. We need to go beyond a superficial knowledge of its product and market. We need to get to know what the priorities are and the critical success factor for this current year. All these information are important to have. Understand the basis on which the company competes. Assess the current situation that the business is in. Superficial means not deep. Superficial is not deep. Is the opposite of deep. On the surface. Go beyond a superficial knowledge. Go beyond the very limited superficial. If you say that I have a superficial knowledge of something, it means that you know a little bit about it. So you need to know more. You need to have deep knowledge of the product and market and everything. So stop non-value added activities. This is a tip here. Look to find ways of stopping individual and team activities that don't add value in order to free up time to think creatively. You know, in a team, people are hardworking, they have ideas, they do a lot of things because they are also employees. They want to impress their leader, they want to impress the company and everything. As a leader, you should analyze every individual's activities and see if what they are doing, because every individual does something because he or she thinks that this is the right thing to do. But you're a leader. Farid, as a leader, observes Muhammad Aziz, observes Nasir Ahmad, observes Niwais, observes Lida, who is not listening, observes Mustafa, who is, for example, watching TV at the moment. Farid observes everyone. And suddenly Farid says, Mustafa, watching TV is a waste of resources. You better help Muhammad Aziz and do this activity. And Farid goes to Lida, says, Lida, I know that you are watching the news, but probably this is not the best to do because it's a waste of resources. And go help, for example, Muhammad Ismail. So, and of course Nabi. Because a leader knows what everyone is doing and the leader has a vision. The leader knows what is the destination. This is the point A. We want to go to point B. At least the leader knows roughly where the point B is. So if Lida is going this direction and Nasir is going this direction and Navid is going this direction, this is the job of the leader to bring all these to this direction. So we want to learn about innovation management. Lida is watching news. News is this direction. The job of Farid is to bring this wrong direction to the right direction. Yes. Exactly. And responsible for all the signals. Exactly. And this frees up time so that instead of wasting time on news, they don't waste time, but they use their time on getting closer to the goal. Now we have this week 3 because this was week 2, and in week 3, because you know a little bit the team members and the ideas, you try to create a team SWOT. So first I want to know who knows the SWOT analysis. Okay, a strength, not a strong. I want to show a video. I know that some of you may not be able to see or watch, okay, but let's try it and see if it works, because it's a good video.
Hi, my name is Erica Olson. This whiteboard session is on putting together your SWOT, which stands for Strengths, Weaknesses, Opportunities, and Threats. Now, before we push the pause button, I'm here to tell you that we are going to talk today about how to make SWOT work for your organization and be useful, and not just an exercise in print.
So everyone is following? Okay, good.
Alright, so let's get started. Strengths, when we identify them, what do we do with them? We capitalize on them. Weaknesses, we shore them up. Opportunities, we invest in. And threats, we identify. So let's break this down one step further. This is internal. Okay, so these are items that are internal, super important. This, external. And maybe we confuse the two, we have a big mess on our hands, and the SWOT is no longer useful. So let's address the confusing point. Yes, weaknesses are also opportunities. People don't like that language all the time, so if you don't like the word weakness, call it area of opportunity, okay? But the point is, stuff that we can control and stuff that we cannot control but we can impact. Big difference. So let's talk about the internal side for just a moment. We need to collect data to calculate the SWOT. We can kind of go around in the SWOT, but you know, that's kind of like putting a strategic plan or a strategy together in the vacuum. So I don't think you should do that. We want to get information into the SWOT based on customer feedback, your surveys, focus groups, however it is you gather that, employee information via an employee survey, and we're looking for things such as specifically capabilities. What capabilities do we have that are strengths or weaknesses? Resources, money, brand, building, assets, that type of stuff that we have or don't have that are working for us. And processes, things that we do, those internal processes that we do that are either great or not great. For example, a lot of times people think of weakness as communication. Communication versus the process. So nice when you think about that, I'm not going to make this process. But for the opportunities, external, what are we looking for? We're looking for secondary data that tells us something about our environment. Okay, when we talk about that, not the trees necessarily, I'm talking about market interest rates, data that impacts our business. That's the environmental information, that's secondary. Industry data, okay, so what's happening in our industry, maybe from our industry associations, that sort of thing, and competitive data, okay? All of these are secondary data sources. For the most part, sometimes people hire out a few competitive data in the team, but for the most part, those are secondary data sources. The other thing that does go over here as well, however, is some customer feedback, which would be primary data, right, stuff that we collect ourselves, that deal with maybe opportunities or threats that are not necessarily related to something that we're doing internally. So we have all of this. Normally we have both people on the things. What do we do with it? Well, we want to actually take this information and create a list of ideas that we would then drop into goal statements. Okay, so this is again big pet peeve of mine. There was this whole exercise of putting this work together, but you have to look at what to do with it. I'm here to tell you, but we'll look at how we identify ideas in a moment. List of ideas that then get sort of flushed out or prioritized, and we end up starting goals or actions or objectives or the case may be in their strategic plan. So how do we come up with these ideas? Here's how we do it. We take our strengths and we match them up with opportunities. That's one thing. Another way to generate ideas is to match our weaknesses with strengths. So, i.e., do we have a strength that can offset the weakness of ours, or do we have a strength that will help us to capitalize on results and opportunities that's out there? So that we need to be aware of, but one thing that we can do is say other opportunities that will offset these threats. Okay? So my big tip for you is, first of all, make sure that you're informing the SWOT development effectively. That means getting the data that we talked about, not just being a management team exercise around the okay? And the second thing, though, is make sure we do something with it, because the whole purpose is to inform our strategy development with great information, use this tool to suss it out, and then develop some great goals so you can get your organization from it.
All right. Can you hear me now? Could you learn something from the video? So who could enjoy it? Who could learn something from it? Well, actually, what we have here is strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and threats. Strengths are the capabilities, the resources that you have. For example, CEO enthusiasm for innovation, or clear innovation priorities for the current year, or committed innovation team. And these are the strengths of our company. These are internal. On the other hand, we have opportunities. CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Big Boss. Chief Executive Officer. Then we have opportunities. Opportunities are normally external, meaning that these are within our company, these are outside our company. And opportunities could be, for example, cost reduction programs could be driven by the innovation team, new product development process needs to be redesigned. And these are the opportunities that we have come up with. If, for example, there is a need in the market, if there is a, let me use a black collar, if there is a new need in the market, this is an opportunity, which is external, okay? If we need to reduce cost of production, cost of production reduction, okay? This is an internal opportunity. There are also weaknesses. No common innovation process across functional teams. Limited visibility of current initiatives. Poor learning at the end of the project. These are our weaknesses. And there are also threats. Poor financial performance may reduce innovation budgets. So, in an innovation team, we should draw such a SWOT analysis in order to see how we can use our strengths here and capitalize on them in order to benefit from these opportunities. So our goal is to use our strengths and capitalize in these opportunities. There are also threats like poor performance may reduce innovation budgets. These threats are the things that we should care for. We should be careful because they are threatening us. So we should not have a poor financial performance so that we keep our innovation budget. But if you do not identify the threat, you don't know the enemy, how you can fight an enemy you don't know. So this is our enemy. We should know our enemy and we should fight our enemy. We have also the responsibility to identify weaknesses. Why? Because we need to know what are our weaknesses and how can I say, mitigate them? How can we obviate them? Maybe there is a weakness like poor learning at the end of the project, and if we have this weakness and we have identified it, we can do something about it and increase the learning at the end of the project. So once you identify them, you should do something about them. You should use your strengths in order to benefit from the opportunities. You should find out how you can capitalize, how you can turn these weaknesses into a strength. Once a weakness, now a strength. And you should learn how you can watch for the threat. So this is the job in the week 3. And any one of you in your department can do such an analysis, and see how you can even do something within your department. So there is also a quick tip here. Look for evidence. Analyze the information and the opinions of others in order to get the facts, seek concrete examples. So you need to analyze the information so that you find out the facts. You need good examples. Because if you want to make decisions, you need a strong information. You need a strong example, concrete examples, so that your innovations are really something based on facts. Because sometimes you think that, okay, there is a weakness or there is an opportunity, but this is not really an opportunity. So the whole project is going to waste. Okay, if you want to think of that, Navid, then you have to talk about pests, because we have also pest analysis. Political, economic, social, technology analysis. But these are two different things. Pest is one analysis, SWOT is another analysis. You can do also all. Exactly, Nabi, Mohammed. Okay, week 4. Week 4 has to do with securing quick wins. People will be watching closely to see what you are actually going to do to make a difference. Make a list of your ideas for change as you progress during week 3. Then prioritize them in terms of impact on the business and urgency. Make sure measure the impact in terms of how each change will support a specific business imperative or the difference it will make to overall profitability. Measure urgency in terms of specific deadlines. You know, the bottom line of week 4 is that you need to show how your ideas are going to work. You need to show that you are success. And for this, that's why you need to measure, let me put this yellow, measure impact in terms of how each change will support a specific business imperative or the difference it will make to overall profit. Because you need to show that you are successful, you are winning something, your team is successful, and for this you need some measurements, and for this you need to show that how these will impact a business imperative. Why is it important? It is important because you have to identify one or two that you know you can implement quickly within a few days and with little risk. These are referred to as quick wins. This is a political movement that you do with your team. You know, when you have an innovation team, people are investing in your team and they are always watching you. They want to see, okay, what happened to so much time, to so many resources, to so much support. What happened to them? Could the leader link resources to tangible, successful measures? And this is the key. You have the resources here, you have the success here, and success in business means dollar sign. Okay? You need to link resources, your team members, money, time, everything, machinery, material, to success. You need some quick wins because you need to prove that you have been successful so far, so you have not done something wrong, and this guarantees more support. Then you can ask for more support from your superiors. You can ask for more dedication from top management. You can ask for more patience and tolerance, and you can ask for more forgiveness of errors. And all of these are hidden in these quick wins. In 5 weeks, in week 5, you think of creating a vision. Think of what you want to achieve before you move to the next role. The clearer your vision of what success will look like, the more likely it is that you will achieve this success. Think about how you want people to remember you after you have moved on. What will they say about you? Then translate this vision into a team strategy. Reflect on what you have learned and the key messages you have received from your boss and other key stakeholders. You should now have enough information and insight to put together your vision for the team for the next 2 to 3 years. Start at the end by thinking about what you want to have achieved before you move on to the next goal. Whether it be 6 months, 8 months, 1 year, or 3 years. In fact, this should clarify what you will do in terms of, let's say, products and services you provide, and perhaps just as importantly, what you're not going to do. Clarify boundaries, the boundaries which help to focus the team and ensure that your limited innovation resources and budget are not spread too thinly. Therefore, you spread the budget all proportionately to necessary areas. Then think carefully about who your customers are, whether internal or external to the business, and which are the most important ones. You need to think about these capabilities. You personally need to build these capabilities in order to lead the team successfully. Where there are gaps, create a personal development plan for gaining the necessary skills. So if you see, for example, that one employee has some weaknesses, you have to come up with a personal development plan. It's called personal development plan, so that you improve the capabilities of the individual. So what you need to do, you need to ensure that you are able to balance your work commitments with your preferred lifestyle. There is no point in doing a great job if you burn out in the next 10 months. It means that at the end, you have to also balancing a team strategy, your lifestyle, work lifestyle, and your energy and your future plan. Okay, as a team leader, you need to have a strategy, you need to have vision. When you have a vision, you should come up with a strategy to reach this vision. This slide has to do with this point. Let me draw it here. This is past. This is future. This is you, the leader. This is Farid. This is the team. This is Farid boss. Sorry, with O-S. You don't see anything else? No? Okay. If you don't see anything, let me find the stage. Okay, I draw it here. Okay, this is past. This is future. Now you can see. This is Farid. This is the team plus project. This is Farid boss. And Farid has come from the past going to the future. Okay? And of course, at this time, Farid is involved with this project. This is the present. This is not the end of Farid's career. Farid has come from some point and is going towards some point. Also, the team members need to have a future. So when you work in an organization on an innovation project, you have certain clear tasks to do. But you need to form a vision. And I don't need to tell you that vision, what is it, because we discussed it. There are also some links here in your slides to see in the YouTube. And we have mission. The mission is the primary objective. So Farid needs to meet the mission of this project. Like Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise. You have to save the girl. And you have to get this thing which was stolen from you. So your mission is to get the job done. You do the mission here, but that's not all. You need, you need to stick to your vision, and you need to communicate this vision to the team members, because after this project, you are going forward, and you need to have a vision for that. So when you know the team members, of course you are doing the mission thing. You also need to think of a clearer picture of something that benefits the corporation in the long run. And this is how you make a name. This is how you become visible in the corporation, because you are not a small project innovation team leader. You are going to be successful in this project, and you have a vision. So your boss says, Farid, I want you to be head of 10 innovation projects. You don't need to be only leader of one project. We put leaders, we assign leaders to 10 projects, 10 leaders. You are the leader of all these 10 leaders because you have a vision. You can think beyond the mission. You can think beyond one project. You can think of how these 10 projects should lead to. And this is all about having a vision. And you need to have a strategy and plan. Take a break in week 6. Why? This week, week 6, let me use this week to take time to relax and get to know the team better. Spend more time with each of the on a one-to-one basis. Listen to their views, to the team members' views, aspirations, and their concerns. Tell to each of your key stakeholders again, and test the various elements of your innovation vision, updating it as it goes. So your vision should be dynamic. You should also work on it. During this week, make sure you get on top of your day-to-day administration. So now you have already established individual responsibilities, and now you are on top of that. You are thinking at a bigger picture, because every team member is doing the job very well. So take time to delegate non-critical tasks to members. You delegate the task, employee empowerment. So you pay particular attention to your boss and get to understand them better. You think of your boss, what your boss wants from you, and what is this preferred leadership style, what are their major opportunities and threats, and how do they feel your first 5 weeks have progressed. You need to free your time by delegating the task, and you need to think of the bigger picture, how you are going to answer to your superiors, to the company CEO, to the bosses. And this is what you're going to do. So the tip here is get into the habit of asking your team to identify one idea for improvement at the end of your regular team meeting. Now your team is empowered. Now your team knows what to do. They know the task. So they have to come up with more ideas. You have the vision and mission and everything. So because you work towards that vision, what you can do is that you can ask them to contribute ideas. Week 7. Week 7 is the week that you build your reputation. Recognize that your personal reputation will now be dependent on the ability of the team to deliver results. So what is important here is results. There is no result, you don't have any reputation. Reputation is tarnished. Just hold on a second, please. Okay. Sorry for the delay. So, in building your reputation, you need to deliver results. So you need to start to look outside your own organization and identify industry best practices. Think about what you can do to enhance your reputation as an innovation professional. Virtual teams are often more challenging to lead. So in order to build your reputation, you may need to be sensitive to the needs of individual members and adapt how you work with them in order to get the best results. So you need to take time to build your network. So if we go back, we have quick wins here. These are very small results. So these are just to show to your superiors that you are on the right track. But in week 7, you need real results. You need the results which are comparable to best practices. You need to show that what I'm delivering here is in par with the industry standards. And this is a very, very, very difficult thing. So in 7 weeks, you have actually come up with something. And of course, you should know that these 10 weeks are symbolic, because you cannot say that every innovation project goes for 10 weeks. No. You can have a project which is 6 months. You can have a project which is, let's say, 2 months. You can have a project which is in a shorter time. These 10 weeks want to tell you how you should, what are the milestones that you should achieve within your leadership period. What are the things you should have in your pocket? And okay, I will come to your question, Mohammed. So the result is very important here. And by week 7, you should have results. Even if you work in a project which is longer and week 7 is there, for example, week 14, it doesn't matter. But you should know that towards the end of the project, you need to have results which are comparable to industry best practice. So this is what that you can learn from here. Results comparable to industry best practice. Virtual teams, when you are working in a huge company, they have branches all over the world. So you cannot ask, for example, somebody from China to fly and somebody from Europe to fly to the States for a teamwork. So you form teamwork in computer net. This is USA, this is China, this is France, this is Afghanistan. So you have team members who are connected like worldwide science. Through computer, we are connected from all around the world to learn something. And this is a virtual team. Virtual means not real. It's virtual. This is week 8. Conduct your first event. Hold your first innovation event aimed at delivering real value to the business. Focus on a current business issue or key success factor and get the right people involved. And the right people are those as stakeholders, okay, or not? Plan it thoroughly and think about all the things that could take it off track. Be clear about what you want to achieve and what you will to do with the ideas in order to ensure that something will change as a result of this event. Remember the impression we talked about? You have to make a good impression, the first good impression. Here also you make an impression. You know, you want to see what you want to achieve. This is like a showcase. You know, it's an event. What do you want to do in an event? In an event, you want to bring all the stakeholders to show them, wow, this is the magic I did. You want to talk about your magic, the magic of innovation team. Why? You want to impress them. And for impressing them, you have an idea. What kind of impression should I give them? A successful, highly achieved innovation team leader. Farid presents. This is the magic we did with the help of our team, okay? Also, there is a tip here, innovation audit. Get into the habit of reviewing your team against an innovation audit on a regular basis. Innovation audit. If you like, I can also prepare a presentation on innovation audit. Innovation audit is like auditing in accounting or any other field. You need to examine your team members, your achievements, your everything, in order to see if you are on the right track, if you are doing the right thing at the right time with the right capability, if you are learning from your mistakes, that you ensure that the same mistakes won't happen, if your innovation people have the right skills, do they need training? If your innovation strategy is linked to company innovation strategy, so all these fall into this on the innovation audit. That's this, yes, effectiveness and efficiency. That's it, at least once a year. Reflect and learn is what you do in the 9th week. You need to stop and review where you are. Go back to your original plan. See what had you in mind when you started and what have you achieved. You had 5 items to do, you did 3 of them. What happened to the other 2? Yes, I agree with Muhammad Aziz. Go back to your original plan and check. Meet your boss and ask for an informal review of your progress. This is very important. This is a very political book, but it's a very true book, because if your boss doesn't like your job, I'm telling you, you're screwed. So you need an informal review of your progress. Your boss matters. Meet with your other stakeholders and get their input. What has gone well and what they would like to see change. Week 10. Start by reflecting on your earlier vision and update it if necessary. So in week 10, you are correcting your plan. Okay? So you want to take these 10 weeks in order to come up with a long-term plan. Start by reflecting on your earlier visions and update it if necessary. Be more ambitious. If you have right capability people with right capability in your team, ambitious is someone who dreams big, or is someone who wants big things happening. Ambitious is someone who is 9 years old in Afghanistan and wants to be the President of the United States. You know, you are ambitious. You want something big. And in innovation teams, you need to be ambitious to the level possible. The more ambitious you are, the more visionary you are. Identify what needs to be done and achieved on a month-by-month basis. Keep the plan for 2 years. Keep the plan for year 2 a high level, but plan the first 3 months in detail. Okay, the meaning here is that you have a long-term plan, which of course you cannot really have a detailed plan for 2 years, but you need to plan the very first month very precisely. You can have a very detailed short-term planning, but you should have a longer overall plan. As time goes by, you try to make your plan more detailed. So after these 10 weeks, you plan the next 2 years, but the first 3 months should be very detailed. It can be the first 2 months, it can be the first 5 months, okay, it depends on your project. But everybody knows that if you come up to your boss and say, I have a very exact plan for 2 years, they laugh at you because you cannot forecast 2 years. You can foresee only 2, 3, 4 months. But you know that what you want to achieve at the end of the 2 years. Identify barriers or potential problems. Set key performance indicators, KPI, this is called. It means that at the end of month 1, I want to achieve this. At the end of month 2, I want to achieve this. At the end of month 4, I want to achieve this. So these are the key performance indicators. Why do you need them? Because if you don't measure, if you don't have key performance indicators, you don't know who is not working very well, who is not working efficiently, who is not working effectively. Identify barriers means one of them is financial barriers. If you have a 2-year plan, at each stage you need certain amount of money to pump into your project. Is there going to be a problem with this amount of money that you need at each stage? Will you have a financial problem? Or you start working on your project with 3 engineers, here you need 4 engineers, here you need 5 engineers, here you need another extra 6 computers. Are you going to receive your resources? Is there going to be a barrier to this? Make sure that at least one indicator tracks the financial benefits of your innovation work, what some people refer to as the return on innovation investment. At the end of the day, you should know that if you are doing some innovation, is there going to be a bottom line impact, or just that's it? ideas databases. Set up a simple database of ideas for your team. Start with a simple spreadsheet. You can use a Microsoft Excel cell or whiteboard. Classify each idea as to whether it is a major new insight of continuous improvement or make sure that something happens to each idea. Do not let ideas get lost. Keep track of ideas, because in innovation teams, people are highly dedicated, highly motivated. They are technicians. They know what they're talking about. So every idea is important, and you should keep track of every idea. Therefore, what you do is that you should keep track of ideas, and you should keep a list. Every member should comment on ideas, and maybe these ideas can be utilized in later stages. Next month, next 6 months, next year. Constructive challenge as another tip that the book gives you here. Get into the habit of challenging members of your team to think differently, to explore options, and to build their case for innovative ideas. Challenge them. Challenge them to think differently. It's a very big challenge, but if they are going to be innovative, they need this challenge. For this, they need to maybe talk with other people in other departments, because they have to change their mindset. They have to have a new mindset. Okay, leading an innovation team, changing myself. I will stop here because we are going to have presentations, and you need to also go through the PowerPoints that I gave you today. I continue the rest next week, because I want you to also observe what material I gave you the first 10 weeks. And what would be very interesting is that if you come up with a SWOT analysis, some people present it, some others not, okay? So I have Navid presented, Obaidullah presented, Shagufa, Nasir are going to present today, and Lida is going to present next week. I need to write down 2 people here who are going to present next week. I want them to present a SWOT analysis. Who are the 2 people? Everybody should present. This is part of your score. So please. I need 2 names, very fast, to work on SWOT analysis. And for this, I don't want many pages, only 5 pages, maximum. No copy paste, real scenario, your own handmade material like a cookie. Okay. Mustafa, didn't you present on time? Okay. Mustafa Ghaffari. Who else? Apart from Lida. Lida is next year. I want another person. If the semester finishes and you have not presented, you are not going to get your score. I put 0. I don't care about time. So you should present. At the end, when I want to pass your scores, I look at your name and I look at your presentation. Brishna is from India. Okay, Brishna. I thought it's an Indian name. It's a nice name, Brishna. Okay, now I make Nasir or Shagufa ladies first. I make Shagufa the speaker. Is Shagufa agreeing with me? Next week I will try Farid Ahmad. Okay, Shagufa, let me make you the speaker. Shagufa, 15 minutes maximum. I made you the speaker.
Hello?
Shagufa, are you uploading your file?
Yes, sir.
You don't have any problem, right?
There is a problem, I can't, but...
Do you want me to upload your file or?
Yes, yes.
Did you send it to the email to me?
Yeah.
Shagufa, I don't see your email. Let me see. Shagufa, I don't, let me see where I have your thing. Hold on a second. Ah, yeah, it's here. Okay. Shagufa, I make myself the presenter.
Okay.
File. Okay. This is yours, Shagufa. Now you're going to present it. I already uploaded it.
Okay.
Let's go.
Okay. First of all, I want to say this topic is about the key individuals. And every organization must utilize the resource that they have available in order to have a chance of being successful. Most of organizations have three major resources. There are physical resource, financial resource, and resources that's related to directly organizational behaviors. So physical resource or tangible resource like buildings, vehicles, or etc. And financial resource or includes things such as allotted budgets for various expenditures and funds available to the organization. And the last one is the people, that is linked to the organizational behavior. This is resource focus is mostly around the people within the organization, on their experience, their work ethics, and their attitude, ability, knowledge, and decision-making skills. So, what's key individuals? Or those who make decisions, make plans, organizing the project, provides the team with leadership and motivation, provides coordination among team members, sees that the project moves forward effectively, balances project goals with organizational needs. I think in this slide we don't have any thing that is not clear. It's clear that who are the key individuals. And next, next slide.
Can you change the slides, Shagufah?
No, I can't.
But you're the presenter. You should be able to do that. Just go up there. There is an arrow. There is an arrow. You see key individual on the top. On the top of the program, you see the marker. You see the eraser. You see the slide. You just press on the arrow.
Sir, scan the next slide. That is the first slide.
Okay, let me see.
Okay.
This one?
Yeah, that's true. Yes, it's true.
Okay, you talk. I change on your behalf. Okay?
Okay.
You just talk.
Okay.
Responsibility. We talked about it.
Yeah.
This one?
No.
This one?
No, the second slide.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Responsibility of key individuals.
Managing or overseeing the activities of projects?
Yes. Sir, please, could you mute your microphone?
Okay. You're the presenter.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. And responsibilities of key individuals. First, managing or overseeing the activities of projects. The activities happen in the project. The key individual must see and manage that. Managing or overseeing the business and act as representatives. Providing leadership. Developing tools for government to use to help comply with legislation. So please, the next slide.
Next slide, okay.
Continuing up the responsibility of key individuals, managing business and overseeing the representatives.
Okay. Overseeing a representative means what?
Yeah. And then the qualification of a key individual: knowledge, experience, honesty and integrity, operational ability. Let's see each of them by definition. Knowledge. The person who is key individual, he and she must add knowledge to acquaintance with facts, truths, or principles. This is the knowledge. Experience. For key individual, it's necessary to have experience to achieve the goals. Honesty. A key individual must be a person who is truthful, sincere, and has honorably. These personal characteristics of key individuals are very important when one considers the key management and oversight role of the key individual. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There's problem with leader.
Well, you cannot solve all the problems. Okay, go ahead.
Miss Leader, are you hear me? Miss Leader?
Because Lida is using the mobile phone, I guess. And mobile phone cannot function like computer, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. And operational ability. A key individual must have and be able to maintain the operational ability to fulfill the responsibilities.
Operational ability is the same as expertise in doing the job. You mean a skill?
Yes, sir.
So operational ability, it means that to have the expertise of the field, a specific
Yes.
Okay.
And there are some examples and that they play role in the company, like key individuals. Brishna Uriya. She is a director of Posen Consultancy Service, developing our business through creating a good network, meeting different donors, establishing brochures and distributing them, planning, staffing, monitoring.
Okay.
And also the next example is Khatra.
What is Khatra?
Yes. Khatra, she is an executive manager in a company. She manages and oversees the day-to-day running of the business on a more strategic level. She also plays a key individual role in a company.
Okay.
From these examples, it's clear that a key individual can fulfill more than one regulatory role. And where this is the case, the key individual would have to meet the fit and proper requirements for both roles.
Okay. And now you have recommendations.
Yes, that's the recommendation. Key individuals are very important elements in any organization. So if we want to have the best key individuals in our company, we have to choose a person who has the good qualifications, and whenever our company faced with a problem, the key individuals must find a good way to solve it carefully. But just director is not a key individual in an organization. Every department has key individuals. In the workplace, everyone should know its responsibilities.
Very well.
Thank you.
So thank you very much, Shakufa.
Thank you, sir.
I like your presentation because you made it yourself. It has good examples. It touches upon the qualification. It has the responsibilities. It has a definition, very simple and within the time. So I think it's fair to give A to Shikupa because it respects the time. It is handmade. It is not copy and paste necessarily. It has good examples. So very simple presentation, to the point, and with good presentation. Of course, you were not the first to present, so you had the benefit of getting feedback, but I thank you very much. So I think the next presenter is Nasir. Nasir, let me see if I have Nasir. Did you change your PowerPoint, or can I upload it from here? Okay, better Nasir do it himself. He's a big guy. He can take care of it. So Nasir, I make you the presenter. Go to the share on the top. Choose your file. And now we can't clap for people, but we can clap you. Okay. Nasir, are you doing the job or do you have difficulties? Okay, professional. Very good. What are you doing? Nasir, can you hear me? Nasir? Can you hear me? Nasir, I uploaded your presentation. Go ahead and present. You don't have much time. Nasir?
Hello, sir. Did you hear me?
Yes, I hear you.
Hello?
I hear you.
Hello?
I hear you, Nasir.
Yes. Now, can I start?
Yes, yes.
Hello? Yes. Then I want to start.
Okay, do it.
Hello?
Hello, start.
Hello? By permission of our respectable professor and my classmate, today I want to talk a little about our talk is today about learning organization. That it means that we will know that what is a learning organization. Leading and learning organization with a patient will get to the heart of a learning organization. It means that if we learn and lead with patient, then we will have a learning organization. Then what is learning organization? A learning organization is a group of people working together to collectively enhance their capacities and create results they really care about it. A learning organization is required to concentrate on the term given by a company to facilitate the learning of its member and continuously transform itself. Learning organization developed as a result of pressure facing modern organization and enable them to remain competitive. It's changed, sir. It's the second
I don't have
slide.
anything. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a
Did
second.
you see the second slide, sir?
Oh, I don't know. Well, I don't see anything. This one, you mean?
Okay.
You should click on the top on the arrow. Do you see arrow here? Do you see the arrow here?
No. The second one. The second one.
This one? This is the second one?
Yes.
Okay, I made you the presenter. Go ahead.
No, this is the first one.
I cannot change it. You have to change it yourself because now you're the presenter. I made you the presenter.
Okay. Then you should go to the second.
You have to change the slides in the WebEx in this machine. Go. No. Go on the top.
The arrow key.
Go on the top.
What's the code?
Go on the top. You see the toolbar. You see where you have the pen. You have the eraser.
Yeah.
Then you have two arrows, one to the left, one to the right. Just click on the right one and you change the slide. Can you click on it? You can also change.
Okay.
But you are changing now. I don't see anything. Okay. What we do is that I changed the slide. You tell me go to the next.
Yeah, now it's the second slide.
Okay,
And
I do.
Now I want.
This is the right slide. What is the learning organization? Is this the right one?
Okay, if you can change.
I can change it for you.
It's okay because from here.
Which is the page I should go now?
Yes, yes.
Which page? This page?
Yes, yes. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Go ahead.
Okay, this is okay. Yes, yeah. What is learning organization? A learning organization is a group of people working together to collectively enhance their capacities to create results, the key they really care about. A learning organization is the term given to a company that facilitates the learning of its members and continuously transform itself. Learning organization developed as a result of the pressure facing modern organization model and enable them to remain competitive in a business environment. It means that a learning organization is a group of people, they collectively work to enhance their capacity in order to achieve the goal or a target that they are really caring about it. And they are work together they are always facilitate the learning process of the member of a firm or an organization, which is always in the changes. And now, sir, the second slide.
Is it the right slide now? The foundation of a learning organization?
You can.
Is it the correct one?
No, but I see the second.
This one?
That's the correct one, but I cannot see. I will go from my presentation.
I don't know what's the problem. I mean, this is the first slide, okay? This is the second slide, which you talked about it, okay? What is a learning organization? You said the definition. Now you need to talk about the foundation of a learning organization. It's a strong resource management. Is it true? Nasir.
Yeah, but I see the what is a learning organization slide. Yes.
No, you should see the foundation of a learning organization, because now it is on the screen. Can everyone see the foundation of a learning organization?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Okay.
Now it's okay.
Farid, in 10 minutes I'm going to cut your presentation. So budget your time. Okay?
Yeah, now it's okay.
The foundation of a learning organization is a strong resource management. Tell us about it, and I go to the next slide.
Yes, okay. The foundation of a learning organization is to manage the resources strongly. For example, an effective manager or leader equitably and ethically sustain people, process, and information, as well as physical and financial assets to fulfill the mission, vision, and goal of the organization. Next slide, sir.
It is the next slide.
The characteristic of the learning organization. We have some correct criteria for a learning organization. Which criteria should have a learning organization? For example, the structure of learning organization should have a flat hierarchy, decentralized dynamic networks, availability of information. The system of information availability should be available for all the staff or all the employees. Trust culture. There should be a high level of trust, self-mastery practice. Communication. The communication should be centralized, decentralized process. Everyone should have the ability to communicate very freely with each other, even up to top of the manager. Innovation. In a learning organization, there should be the climate that everyone should have the courage to have innovation, and they should share very freely and encourage their idea, and also there should be the courage to take the risk-taking courage. Manager style and learning organization should be facilitator or like coaching style. A learning system also should be continual learning or and double loop learning. The next slide shows. There are some requirements or some elements that a learning organization should have. One is shared vision, team learning, system thinking, organizational learning, and personal mastery. What is a shared vision? Shared vision is not an idea, rather a force of impressive power. It lifts us out of our existence aspiration and opens the door to new ideas. Next slide. And what can be the shared vision? Shared vision is critical because it provides the focus and it provides the focus and energy for learning. The shared vision gives us a real sense of a purpose, and also the shared vision must be real and genuine. A learning organization and high-performance team cannot excel or even exist without a shared vision. If we want to have a learning organization, then a shared vision is very necessary. Shared vision promotes focus and long-term commitment to organizational effectiveness and survival. Individual vision is not enough because shared vision we can see each other. If we have shared vision, on that time we think that this is the vision of all. Everyone can see their face in that vision. A true shared vision. What can bring a true shared vision? Draw out the commitment of people throughout the organization. If developed with everyone inspired, not shared unless it has staying power and evolving life force that lasts for years. Team learning. What is team learning? Team learning is the process of aligning and developing the capacity of team to create the results its members truly desire. Next slide. Team learning. It is team learning, not an individual learning. The team learning adds to the organizational learning. In team learning, people need each other to achieve their objectives. Teams are the key learning group of organization. Talented teams are made up of talented individuals. Team learning is a building block for organizational learning. Team learning is a result of collaboration. For example, an effective team leader develops and maintains responsive, cooperative, mutually beneficial, and ethical internal and external relationships that nurture diversity. What is system thinking? A system is perceived whole whose elements hanging together because they continually affect each other over time and operate toward a common purpose. It means the system thinking as a framework for focus on pattern and interrelationship. The system think make wider the people perspectives, and also it involves adopting a holistic approach to problem solving, no individual blaming. System thinking involves the ability to see connection between issues, events, and information as a whole, or as patterns, rather than as a series of unconnected parts. Not breaking problem up to a shared vision, system thinking, not breaking problems up into individual pieces. The focus is on trying to understand how relevant factors collectively interact to produce the problem. What is organizational learning? It is team learning, not individual learning, and organizational learning add to the team learning add to organizational learning. Personal mastery. What is personal mastery? The sense of personal mastery focus ultimate desire, approaching life from a creative rather than to a reactive viewpoint. Personal mastery relates to a special level of proficiency achieved through a commitment of lifelong learning. It's the clear connection between individual development and organizational learning. Personal mastery is more than achieving a set of skills and competencies. It's based on a commitment and truth about current reality. There is an example of learning organization. It's a FEMA, or Federal Emergency Management Agency. It's an agency in the United States. It's work for disasters like this. It was in a very bad situation before coming of Mr. James Leavitt in 1993. When he came, it was in a very terrible shape. Like it was as rigid, no customer friendly, unable to communicate across internal stovepipes, terrible in managing external relationship with state and local units. A place to send people who
Slide.
There is something missing, sir. And also, it was a place of send people who support the president campaign but lack of management skills. And also, it was unable to perform its basic mission. And it was like an agency that the president and others convented. Like
Circumvent.
Yes, circumvented. Like Mr. Holing, St. Holing famously called it, it is the biggest group of bureaucratic gypsies ever assembled in one place at one time in the history of USA. When Mr. Witt listed in 2001, the agency had been transformed into a model of internal and external collaboration learning and high performance, and almost all of which changes have continued under the new administration. What he has done, Mr. Witt worked hard on congressional relations with both parties. He cut a deal with Sean Michalowski
Nasir,
if he makes
Nasir,
fundamental changes in his, yes.
I want you have 4 slides on examples of organizational learning and FEMA. Just briefly tell me what he did to solve the problem of organizational learning. Just briefly tell me. Don't read from them.
Okay.
In two sentences. In 2 sentences, 3 sentences, tell me what he did.
Okay. He first he did a reorganization.
Reorganization. Okay. What else?
How he brings a staff rotation in the organization.
Okay.
Yeah. Staff rotation, strengthen the
and expanding the communication, capacity building,
strengthening of the expanding of communication, and also increase the capacity of the staff, and also he brings ad hoc structure. This was the main point that he was succeed.
I told you, only important matters in this.
Yes, and ad hoc, making of ad hoc structure.
Okay, now, the results. Significantly improved customer service, okay? Nasir, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. He significantly improved the customer services, time to process payment to disaster victim.
Okay, one example is enough. Some managers voluntarily left, and some were encouraged to do so. Okay.
And also the result. Another result was. Yeah.
So some left, some stayed. Okay? Those who left, they didn't believe in the changes. Those who stayed, they believed in the changes. Okay? And the new FEMA administrator from a different administration and political party maintained almost all elements of the new model. So,
Yes.
new model was what? Successful. True or false?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what do you want to say in this slide? What do you think is the most important?
And this it's also another example of an exco company. It is an Australian company, which is not a small company. Yeah.
Okay. Exco establish a working environment attractive to employees. So working environment attractive, taking action to enable employees to develop their full potential. So development of potential. These are the important factors. Commitment required. Improvement analysis identification. Effective role of employees in continuous or Kaizen. We remember we talked about Kaizen? Benchmarking. Okay?
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much. So, I told you, I want you to present very important material within 15 minutes because I don't want a lot of examples. I want only one good example. And Navid's presentation, Nasir, did you prepare this presentation yourself or is it a copy or paste?
I put myself in from different resources, and some I put it from some slides.
What I like from your presentation is that you actually touched upon very important points in learning organization. The examples, they're also good. The only weakness is that you should know how much time to spend on a slide. You can say you want to do the examples, the lessons learned, the second example you skip, you just talk about the lessons learned, like here, and then you can say that based on these two stories, the success factors are similar. Okay? So you can generalize. You can say that we need commitment of employees. We need working environment which is attractive. We need to develop the potentials and stuff like that. So because you did not respect the time, I give you A minus. Because Shakufa got A, you get A minus only because of the time, because you could not finish it within the time, but the stuff generally was very good. So I'm happy with your presentation.
I think, sir, it was the problem of like connection of the internet. Otherwise, I wanted to finish on time.
I thank you all. If you have questions, you can ask me. If you do not have questions, we can close the session. If you have comments, you can ask your comments. Give your comments. Okay, a special thanks to Shakufa and Nasir for their presentation. And thank you all for listening. Next week we continue with the leader of the innovation team, and we also listen to more presentations. Have a wonderful week.